Dude, I'm freaking living on these here at ISC.
You and everybody else. These things are going out like crazy.
Oh, dude, I have to have it.
Unbelievable.
Hey everybody, welcome on into the Big Access Podcast. My name is Brock Benson. I'm the Director of Marketing here, and we have Paul Delaski, who is one of our regional sales directors up in the Northeast Territory. He's joining us, and we, as you can see, are live at ISC West, where we are showing off all of the latest and greatest going on here at PDK. We've got Paul here to talk to us a little bit more about our new AUX8 controller today, and so we're really excited to hear from him about all of its use cases, all of the benefits that it has, and we figured who better to talk about elevator control than somebody who covers New York and the territories that have a lot of elevators. So that's exciting. But before we do that, we do have a little surprise for Paul here. I've got a deck of cards here that has a face of an actor on here that we're gonna have him give us an impersonation of.
No.
So Paul, go ahead and choose somebody here. Who'd you get?
I got Arnold.
Arnold.
I'll be back.
All right, well done, well done. Let's see who I'm gonna get here. Oh, I got Owen Wilson. Wow. Anyways, hopefully that's fun. But you need to do it all again?
No, I need you to do it.
Oh, you need me to say wow again. Wow, nice. All right, there we go. But Paul, the AUX8 controller is something that we've talked a little bit about on a couple previous episodes. It's a brand new auxiliary controller that we are really excited about, and it's kind of a unique auxiliary controller because it's got relays on it, it's got inputs on it, and it's great for doing both wet and dry contacts with it, right?
Correct. So the AUX8 is our new auxiliary input-output board. It rounds out our red line of controller. So it's the final piece of the red line of controllers that we put together. It has 8 inputs and 8 outputs. The 8 outputs can be dry or wet.
Yep.
Up to 4 amps. So 4 amps of power if wet.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's a lot of power. But for elevator control, we can do an unlimited number of floors, so we can do the Empire State Building if we wanted to.
That's pretty cool, right?
There's no limit to the number of floors that we can control.
But with each AUX8, you have to have, that will control 8 floors, right?
We control 8 floors, you need a reader input on a different controller.
Yep.
So if I got 4 elevators, I can put all 4 readers onto an R4, and then have a bunch of AUX8s to control the floors themselves.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how simple is it to tie an elevator, into an AUX8?
Well, I like to say that elevator control is the easiest and the hardest install you'll ever do. It's the easiest install because you don't have locks to deal with. It's the hardest install because you have to deal with the elevator contractor.
Yeah.
So you're just basically handing off a pair of dry contacts for each floor. And you just put them in a D-mark and put in your pairs this way, and the elevator contractor takes them out the other side and does his thing with it. But it's just smooth, it's slick, and it's great.
Yeah, and whenever you're doing anything with elevator control, we're not actually wiring that up as a wet contact though.
No,
that's got to be a dry contact,
Normally
right?
Open typically.
You're using a 24-volt power supply with that, right? So you got to remove the jumpers and be able to tie that in there, and you're going to be set, right?
Good to go.
Okay, sweet. So that's elevator use with that. Other uses for the AUX8. A very common one is going to be door position sensor monitoring.
Right, so a lot of times we have doors that don't have readers on it, but people want to know what the status of that door is. So why buy reader ports when you don't need them? So the AUX8 can monitor those reader ports. Door position switches, if we set them up as a generic device, they're not chargeable. And you can monitor as many as you want without being charged a hosting fee on them.
That's pretty sweet, right? And we've got we did an episode a couple of weeks ago with Matt Murdoch from Alpine Communications, where he was part of our beta period for the AUX8. And with that, we were talking about a senior care housing facility that he's working on that has a bunch of doors that he's going to be adding this onto that just requires monitoring, right? Telling us when is that door going to be open, when is that door going to be closed. It doesn't need full access control. And being able to add that capability and that extra monitoring is a huge benefit to the end user and to the partners alike, right?
Tremendous value. So we get a lot in buildings that have fire exits that they want to make sure that those fire exits stay locked. Smokers' doors, and people go out and put a rock in front of the door so they don't have to read a credential to get back in. There's lots and lots of applications where we're monitoring doors that don't have readers on them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty cool. So, and then another commonly used scenario is going to be like tying in other inputs such as like an alarm panel, right? So that way you can trigger it where you walk up and you swipe your badge and have that disarm an alarm.
Yes, you can do that, absolutely.
Yeah.
So and that'll work with anybody who's got key switch arming and disarming zones on their alarm panels. So we don't integrate with specific alarm panels. We more interface with all of them through the series of relays.
Yeah, that's great. So the AUX8, it's available now. Reach out to your local distributor. They're going to be able to get you a price on that. But if you have any questions about it or you need help building out the system, please feel free to reach out to any of us here at PDK.
We're going
to be able to get taken care of. Like Paul said, we're here for you, right? We're partner fanatics.
Woo!
That was well done, man.
We didn't even practice that.
Yeah, that was not planned. So that is awesome. Paul, for those, what states do you cover? You cover the Northeast Territory. Maine to Virginia. Okay, so if you guys are in that territory, Paul Delaski is your guy. He's your contact. So how do they get a hold of you, Paul?
Paul at ProDataKey.com.
That's pretty simple, right?
Easy enough.
I like that. Pretty nice thing having such easy emails here.
I love it.
Cool. Well, Paul, is there anything that you want to tell anybody else about ProDataKey that they might need to know?
ProDataKey rocks.
There we go. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Big Access Podcast. Hopefully it is a very educational episode and you learned a little bit more about the AUX8 auxiliary controller, which is available now. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions and we'll be able to get you taken care of. But for those of you who are listening, also be sure to subscribe to this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, and let us know if there's anything else that you want to learn. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day and we will see you later.